Howdy, guys, and welcome to Cliff Notes, and welcome to night number 85 of the overnight feed recaps for Big Brother Season 25. All right, tonight's the night. We've got a double eviction. We've got the second double eviction of the season. You don't see that very often at all. So, yeah, we're going to have a double tonight. The first part, not so much to that. Although, whether it's going to be a blindside or not is certainly going to be a question. The second half of the double eviction could get quite interesting because depending upon who wins could certainly provide some safety or some threats to different people now. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Certainly there were a lot of conversations going on in the house over the last 24 hours with regards to who would take shots at who's watching out for who. There's been a little chaos in the house going on. So we do have it. So let's talk about the state of the house right now. First of all, as I mentioned, the question really isn't who's going home in the first half of the double tonight. It's going to be Blue, unless something absolutely crazy happens right before the votes. But it certainly seems like Blue will be the first one walking out the door this evening. The real questions are, one, is Blue going to find out before the vote takes place? Two, who's going to tell her if that does take place? And then beyond that, we've got the second part of the HOH as well, to see who's going to be walking out the door alongside of Blue, making that long drive to the jury house located somewhere up in the hills, overlooking the studio itself. So it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. All right, let's talk about what did happen yesterday, some of the conversations taking place, because there were some interesting ones. Felicia has certainly been doing her part, her fair share to make it a little more chaotic, a little bit more dramatic last 24 hours. And everyone's talking about that. So let's talk, starting off with Bowie and Cirie are talking a little bit. Bowie is suggesting that she'll put up America and Felicia if she wins HOH, but that Felicia would probably be the pawn. So Bowie Jane really is ready to get America out the door, it sounds like. Cirie is saying that if Felicia was to find out that she might go up during the double as a pawn, that she may act up a little bit. And Bowie's saying, well, yeah, I don't think I'm going to tell her unless I win HOH. And at that point, then I will tell her that she's going to be a pawn. We get just those few minutes between one person heading out the door, the HOH being held, and then everyone campaigning over the length of a commercial break. So yeah, if Bowie Jane does win HOH, she'll tell Felicia at that time, you're going up, but you're just a pawn. So just chill out a little bit. And America would be the target. Now, there is a better possibility that Bowie Jane could actually win this HOH. And I'll tell you why in just a little bit. But she's saying Felicia and America go up. America would be her target. Cirie saying, yeah, don't tell her because Felicia wouldn't handle real well knowing that she's going to go up again. She's also talking about that Felicia's been telling Cirie that she wants to try to get the two guys to go against each other and take out each other because that would be the easiest ways possible. And Bowie Jane says, well, how in the world would she do that? Cirie says, I don't know. It's just her, where there's always a possibility. There's always hope. And she wants to try to turn the two guys against each other. Does she, or does she still think that she's got a final three with Matt and Jag? And perhaps this is just Cirie trying to spin up Bowie Jane a little bit. She knows Bowie Jane are tight with Matt and Jag. It could just be Cirie's throwing this out to Bowie Jane, knowing Bowie Jane will go back to Matt and Jag, and certainly Cirie and Felicia are a little less than tight bonded friends at this point in time. So yeah, that's what she's telling Bowie Jane, is that Felicia wants the two guys to go up against each other. She also mentions that Felicia is still pushing this girls' alliance to go against the guys. Bowie comes back and says, well, I certainly would love to see a woman love this season, but you got to get there first. And if we go after the guys, you may not get there. Felicia certainly may not be getting there with the way she's going. Cirie mentions that she just does not trust Felicia at this point in time. She says, I'm just letting her talk, but I'm not talking game to her. There's no way. I just let her talk. I'll be calm, but not trusting Felicia at all at this point. She also tells Bowie Jane that Felicia was the one behind this plan to split the vote, to try to force Jag to break the tie, get blood on his hands. She's saying, yeah, that was all Felicia came to me with that. And Bowie's saying, well, Felicia's saying that you were the one that came up with that idea. Yeah, it was Cirie that came up with it. But of course, Cirie's not going to admit that. Cirie's just, I can't believe the things Felicia's saying. It's crazy. Yeah, no, it wasn't me. Felicia came up with the whole idea of it. And then we kind of finish off that conversation with Cirie talking about how sold she is, how she's fully on board and fully about protecting the four. And the four she's talking about herself, Bowie, Jane, and Matt and Jag. That's the way she wants to ride it to the end, is what she's telling Bowie. So she'll do everything she can to get America out, to get Blue out, to get Felicia out. And it's just the four of them at that point in time. All right, we've got Cirie talking to Jag a little bit later, telling Jag that Felicia wants to win the HOH and take some big shot, implying against Matt and Jag. That Cirie is saying Jag wants, Cirie's telling Jag that Felicia wants to make that big move against Matt and Jag strictly for jury management. She wants to have something big on her resume that she can point to, and that's why she would want to do it. She's saying she already thinks that she's made final two. So at this point, she's trying to work on her jury management, make sure she's good with everyone that's heading out the door, and doing what she can to build up her resume as well. She does mention that she just got through talking to Bowie. Bowie is fine with their final four, is fully on board with the four of them going forward at this point in time. She also mentions that Felicia thinks that she's close to America because Felicia knows or thinks that America would certainly take a shot at Matt and Jag if she had the chance. So again, Cirie throwing Felicia under the bus, also throwing America under the bus, making sure the target is anywhere except Cirie. So they have that little conversation. All right, we've got Matt and Bowie and Cirie talking. You know, I said that Felicia was certainly contributing to a lot of chaos yesterday. As I read through all these notes, Cirie's certainly doing a lot of talking as well. Now, I think in a lot of ways, Cirie is doing some damage control as follow-up to everything that Felicia has said. You don't make Cirie mad. She's certainly upset with Felicia and the fact that Felicia's throwing her under the bus. So now she's responding in kind, and she's doing a pretty good job at it as well. So yeah, Cirie is talking with Matt and Bowie Jane. They're comparing notes about everything that Felicia has been saying recently. Matt does suggest, she sure would be an easy out as the second part of this double eviction. As much as she's doing to try to stir things up and create these divides, and just send her out of the second half of the double and be done with it. And I think that certainly I don't think Cirie would have any issues with that. I don't know that Bowie Jane would have any issues with it as well. Cirie is saying that Felicia is trying to manipulate her by continually telling Cirie that she has to build up her resume, that Cirie may make it to the end, but she doesn't have anything to bank on in terms of convincing the jury why she deserves it, that she's got to make a big move, i.e. hint, hint, maybe go after Matt or Jag. She's wanting, I think, to try to get Cirie on board with doing that. And maybe instead of Cirie sitting back, letting other people do the dirty work, maybe maybe Felicia has learned from the master and is trying to flip it around and trying to come up with a reason to convince Cirie that maybe she needs to do some dirty work in this house right now and get a little blood on her hands. So yeah, she's mentioning that Felicia's really manipulating her, pushing her to try to do something big for her resume. All right, we've got Blue and Cirie talking to one another. Blue is getting nervous. I'm telling you, when you're on the block, when you are the target, you just know. You just can tell when you're in there. I certainly dealt with it a couple of times myself. People don't look you in the eye. They see you coming. They go another direction. They talk very shallow conversations. There's nothing deep going on. They have these little fake laughs when you just know when you're the target. And Blue is starting to notice some of this. She's talking to Cirie and saying, look, I'm getting nervous. Maybe I'm just paranoid, but I'm really getting nervous. I feel like I'm about to throw up thinking about all of this. She's saying, I cannot leave tomorrow. That is not acceptable. I cannot leave. But she says she's going to talk to Jag and tell him that she's a little bit worried about Felicia and Bowie Jane, that maybe Felicia and Bowie Jane are a little too tight with America, and that are they talking a little too much? Is there a chance that they're trying to rally the votes against Blue and to save America, that maybe Felicia and Bowie Jane aren't as on board as Matt and Jag think they are? Blue's mind is just starting to spin as she considers all the scenarios and possibilities. So she wants to talk to Jag about it. And she's letting Cirie know that she's just not feeling great right now. And I think she's trying to get reassurances from Cirie that, yeah, everything's good. You got my vote. You got everyone out. Don't worry about it. Cirie is not necessarily giving her that many assurances. All right, we've got Felicia talking to Cirie again. I am amazed. As much as Felicia's throwing Cirie under the bus, Cirie knows about it. Matt and Jag informed her what's going on. I am amazed that they can still hold civil conversations with each other and pretend like nothing at all is going on, but that's exactly what they're doing. Felicia's talking to Cirie. She's telling Cirie that she's tired of lying to Blue. She wants to either tell her that she actually is going home, or if not, then she wants to just go ahead and give Blue her vote. To stay in the house and to vote against America instead. That she just doesn't like this idea that she's continually betraying Blue. She just wants it done one way or the other. And she says, I'm going to go talk to Jag about it. I'm tired of it. And Cirie's like, yeah, go talk to him. Okay, go for it. So she does just that. She's going to talk to Jag. She's going to see which way he wants her to go. Does he want her to tell Blue, or someone tell Blue right now? Or does he want her to go ahead and just cast the vote to save Blue instead? So she heads right up the door to talk to Jag. She's telling Jag this information and saying, it's up to you. What do you want me to do? But I just can't keep lying to that girl about what's going to happen. It's just not who I am. Yeah, they've been a little fibbing going on from Felicia, from everyone in the house, but certainly Felicia. But she says, I can't do it anymore. What do you want me to do? And Jag says, well, it's not really going to matter. She's going home no matter what. He says, so if you want to cast the vote to save her, go for it, I guess. Yeah, he says, I'm probably going to tell her tomorrow. Anyway, hadn't happened yet as far as I know. He says, I'm gonna tell her tomorrow anyway, but it's not going to change anything if you vote for her. So yeah, go for it, Felicia. Whatever you want to do, that's fine. And so that's the plan at that point in time. All right, we've got Matt and Blue speaking. Blue again expressing some concerns. Blue is saying that she's getting, Blue's saying that she's getting paranoid because she saw America and Bowie Jane talking a lot yesterday, and that they would stop every time she'd come over, approach them. They would kind of stop talking or shift the topic, and she could tell what they're doing. So obviously they're talking about her. Maybe there's only so many people in the house. There's certainly going to be campaigning taking place, and America is on the block, so it is understandable that maybe she would be talking about things that she doesn't want Blue to be privy to. But when you have that few people in the house, you also could be talking about going forward, all kinds of things. But of course, Blue sees this, immediately thinks, oh, they're plotting against me. So she's telling Matt that she saw America and Bowie talking. They would stop whenever she came by, and that has her worried. She also saw them studying together. She mentions that a little bit later. There are a lot of, they went back and forth all day long. So I'm kind of combining a few of these talks into one to make it a little more clear. But she's saying they were studying together. I've seen them talking together. I just don't like it at all. She says she asked Felicia if America had been campaigning to her. And Felicia says, yeah, no, she hadn't talked to me at all. And Blue's saying, why would she not talk to her? Why would she not do that? And if she has been talking to her, why would Felicia not tell me? Something doesn't seem right with that. And she says, I've seen America talking to Cirie a lot. So why wouldn't she be talking to Felicia? Why wouldn't Felicia be talking to me? So yeah, the alarm bells are certainly going off with merit, with reason, with justification, but she's noticing all of this. Jag comes in at one point. Blue repeats her suspicions to Jag as well. She says that I did talk to Cirie, and Cirie says that she's solid about me staying. There shouldn't be an issue that I'm staying. So Cirie feels good, but I just see this other stuff and just getting a little bit worried. Well, Jag and Matt are looking suitably concerned on, wow. They're giving a lot of that, but they're not really responding back. They certainly aren't saying, you're good. I don't know where it's coming from. You're good. They're acting a little concerned, a little bit surprised, but really not giving her a lot of feedback either. And eventually Jag changes the topic to, I wonder what the competitions are going to be like tomorrow. Wonder what kind of, is it going to be slip and slide? That's his go-to. It's always going to be his go-to. They'll be final two, and he'll still be talking about slip and slide. All right. So she didn't really get the resolution I think she was looking for there, as she voices her concern. After Blue leaves, Jag tells Matt about this whole idea that Felicia came up to him, that she said she felt bad. She either wanted to give Blue her vote to stay or tell her what was going on. And Matt comes back and says, well, it sounds like maybe Felicia is just looking for an excuse to have a split vote. She's going to say, well, I've got to vote for Blue because I asked you and you said to. And so it's split vote now. It's not my fault. I asked you and you told me to do it. So now the blood is on your hands. So Matt's thinking maybe it is her trying to drive towards a split vote. Again, Matt wants Felicia to have all the blame on this split vote, not Cirie, because he feels closer to Cirie. So Matt's saying, it's just her wanting a split vote. Jag comes up with the idea or mentions, he says, well, Felicia can vote to save Blue if she wants to. If it makes her feel better, go for it. He says, if she does that, it's probably going to be a 3-1 vote to send Blue out the door. And then Felicia's going to look really bad to America as the only person who wanted to send America out the door. And, I don't know if America won HOH with that. Would it make her more inclined to have Felicia as a target as opposed to one of us? So he's thinking that Felicia being this lone vote against America may not be such a bad idea. Yeah, we'll talk about that again in just a second. All right, Blue has a little conversation to the camera. Not quite as happy as some of the past conversations that she's had. She's talking to the camera, saying that the way Matt and Jag responded to her when she voiced her concerns convinces her that they really do want her to stay. They responded the way she hoped they would. Really? Okay. She thinks that they want her to stay. She's more convinced after she talks to them. But she does say that if she does go today in this double eviction tonight, if she does go, she's throwing hands. I don't think throwing hands is a good thing. That sounds like probably not something that you want to have on live TV. She's ready. She's if that happens, I'm throwing hands. We're going to see what happens at that point in time. All right, we've got Bowie and Matt and Jag all talking to each other. Bowie is saying that Felicia is saying that Blue is he said, she says, on and on. Bowie is saying that Felicia is saying that Blue is planning to put up Matt and Jag, but also saying that she wants to save Blue. So she's basically saying Felicia's going a lot of different directions. She's saying she wants to save Blue, but then she's also saying that Blue told her she's going to put up Matt and Jag. And why would she want to save Blue if that's the case, if she's really with the two of you guys, like she is acting like she is? And she's just all over the place. And Matt says that very thing. Says, well, she's just going crazy. She's spiraling. She's all over. That's just Felicia. Bowie is thinking that it's probably as much as anything else that Felicia's told so many different stories to so many different people. She can't keep track of all of them. And I think that there's something to be said for that as well. Matt is mentioning the fact that Felicia very well may vote to save Blue as a way of jury management, to make sure that then Blue knows that she's the only one that voted to save her. And so if Felicia makes it to that final 2, maybe Blue throws the vote to Felicia as a result. Sounds like a fantastic idea, right? Except for this, Bowie Jane points out, she says, well, if that happens, Blue might think that it was actually Cirie who voted to save her as opposed to Felicia, because Cirie's been pushing and trying to help Blue as much as she can. She may think that it's it's Cirie that tried to save her, so it may backfire on her. Now, if Blue goes out the door, she may, as she hugs, or as Felicia hugs Cirie as they're going out the door, she may try to say something like, I'm the one that voted to save you. But will Blue believe it? I don't know. And here's another interesting thought. Jag pointed out that if there's one vote cast to save Blue, would it be Felicia trying to save herself, but at the same time, would it make America mad at Felicia and actually upset her enough to maybe put Felicia on the block? Well, what if Matt, without telling anyone else, threw out a hinky vote this evening? I'm usually not huge into hinky votes, and I haven't thought this all the way through necessarily, but what if Matt threw out a hinky vote to send America out the door? And as long as he's comfortable that Bowie and Cirie actually are voting to send Blue out, and it certainly sounds like Cirie wants to be part of unanimous on board, all that. As long as he's comfortable about that, let Matt throw out a hinky vote. Of course, once the votes are revealed, he'll deny that it was him. No one will think it was him. He can then use that one vote that was cast and point the finger at Cirie or Felicia, or let Felicia and Cirie point the fingers at each other saying, I didn't vote to get her out. You voted. No, you voted. He could really stir up a lot of stuff and maybe create a little bit more animosity that would keep America away from Matt and Jag. Just a thought. How much fun would it be if we got a hinky vote tonight and then right into a double and people yelling, and yeah, it could be fun. We'll see. I doubt it'll happen, but just wishful thinking on my part. All right, we've got Jag and America talking to each other. America's saying that she overheard Felicia talking about casting a vote to save Blue. And Jag says, well, I'm glad you heard it so that you know that Felicia's not on board with you. She's whatever she may have told you, that's not the case. Felicia is opposed to you. So yeah, she has talked about saving Blue, and Jag tells her about Felicia's ultimatum that, hey, I'm going to vote to save her unless you tell Blue that she's going home. And he says, I'm glad you heard, because it just shows you, America, that Felicia doesn't really give a bleep for you at all. She's doing what she needs to for her game. Don't think that she's on board with you at this point in time. So they are talking about that. Eventually, all day long, they're talking about this vote, and I'm going to save Blue and all that, or cast my vote to save Blue. At the end of it, Felicia backs off. I think she was hoping maybe that they would go ahead and tell Blue at that point in time. Well, they haven't done so yet. Maybe Felicia's realizing that maybe she doesn't want to be the only vote to save Blue at this point in time, because she has now told Jag, and I think some others as well, that she isn't going to cast a vote. She's going to say, yeah, whatever. We'll just make it unanimous. If that's what it needs to be done, it needs to be done. So it sounds like now we aren't going to get split votes or anything else. It's going to be a unanimous vote, because she has now told Jag she'll go ahead and vote out Blue. I think Jag eventually then tells Matt, says, yeah, she's on board for a 4-0 vote at this point in time. So it looks like that's what it's going to be. Unless Matt is listening to this show somehow and figures out to do a hinky vote, and then we could have some fun. But no, I think it'll be a 4-0 vote. And then finally, we've got Jag and Matt and Bowie Jane are talking, comparing some notes towards the end of the evening. They have decided you can't ever make it easy, right? I say that as I'm sitting here talking about hinky votes, but they're going to make it a little more interesting. They have decided that depending on what kind of competition it is and how others are doing, that they may go ahead. Well, Jag cannot compete in the second HOH this evening, or the first HOH competition this evening, but Matt certainly can. And they've decided that Matt, if possible, is going to throw the HOH to Bowie Jane. Now, they're only going to do that if America and Felicia have already been eliminated, or they're so far behind on points where it makes it pretty obvious that they're not going to win. As long as they know that America and Felicia aren't going to win, they're going to go ahead and try to throw it over to Bowie Jane, let Bowie Jane be the HOH this week, and then that allows Matt and Jag to both compete next week, and they think that gives them the best chance to go all the way through. Bowie Jane's all for it, but I also think there's a part of her that doesn't necessarily want to have HOH this week, as long as she feels like she's hopefully safe. People are taking shots elsewhere. She would just soon not have it and maybe have the chance to play a little bit later. So she's excited about it, but I also just picked up a little bit of hesitancy. But she said, yeah, that's fine. We'll do it. The big thing is they actually think that Cirie may be willing to throw this HOH, that Cirie feels safe enough with everyone that she would be willing to sit back and not win this one so she can win the next one and all that. If you're at this point in the game and you're still throwing HOHs, Matt, Jag, Cirie, anyone, that's tough. That is tough. That's putting a lot of faith and trust in other people when there's very few targets out there. But they're thinking Cirie's going to throw it. They do think that Felicia will probably go after America before she went after them. So they're thinking that they should be safe with either Cirie or Felicia. Their biggest concern is America. Not really sure where America would go. And I do think America would take the shot at him if she got the chance. So their biggest concern is with America, saying we've got to absolutely make sure she doesn't win. So Matt, don't throw it until we know America is out. But once she's out, and especially if Felicia doesn't look like she's going to win either, then throw it. Otherwise, fight hard, win this thing. So that's the game plan going forward at this point in time. So there you have it, guys. they're getting ready for a double. So everyone got to sleep just a little bit earlier than usual, midnight or so, Big Brother time, 2:00 Houston time. Everyone asleep, preparing for today. In summary, Blue's going home. I still think someone will tell her right before the live show, but maybe not. But Blue's certainly going home, and then it's an HOH. Someone's going to be walking right out the door with her, and who knows at this point in time? We shall see. It's going to be a fun one. So I'll be watching tonight. I'll be back tomorrow morning to give you a recap of everything that happened. We should have an eviction, an HOH, a veto competition, and by tomorrow morning, we may have another HOH competition. We should have another one, so I'll be able to tell you who the new HOH is as well. It's going to be a busy night. I'm looking forward to it. Until tomorrow morning, guys, y'all have a great one. SKD 143. Cheers, my friends.